Good afternoon and welcome into Beckham Field here for day 2 of our weekend series. It's number 10 South Carolina hosting number 19 Ole Miss. The Gamecocks eked out a 1-0 victory against the Rebels yesterday. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Dakota Morris today. Dakota, again, it was a 1-0 win for South Carolina. What did you see in that performance?
A lot of walks. I believe they tied, or they were about to tie for their record high walks. And if they can keep doing that today and making the Rebel pitchers work, I think that'll work out for them. But also, the Rebel pitchers probably left yesterday and said, we can't let that happen again. So I'd be interested to see what their strategy is coming out and trying to limit those balls.
Absolutely, and again, I know there were some frustrations with a tight strike zone yesterday for both pitchers, but it was Sam Gress with her best outing of the year so far for South Carolina through 7 2/3 innings, blanked the Rebels, and then it was Jory Hurd coming in who kind of got the win, for the outing, even though she only got one out. But she's our starter tonight for South Carolina. Speaking of those starting lineups, let's get into it for the visitors. Batting leadoff and playing in left field, it's Jaden Pone. Batting second and playing right, it's Lair Boutte. The pitcher, as well as batting third, is Aaliyah Benford. The cleanup hitter and playing first is Percy Yamas. The designated player, number 31, it's Lexi Brady in the 5-hole. At second base, it's the freshman, number 1, Mackenzie Pickens. Batting seventh and catching today is Jamie McKay. Playing third base and batting eighth is Angelina De Leon. And rounding out the order, it's the center fielder, Taylor Malvin. Dakota, will you tell us a little bit about the Gamecocks?
Yeah, let me go around. All right, so starting off in the first hole is obviously Quincy Lelio in center field there. In the 2-hole, we got second base Carly Shelton. And then our big hitter in the third hole, we got Ariana Rhoades playing first base. And then in the 4-hole, we got Ella Chansey at third base. Abigail Knight in right field will be in the 5-hole. And batting 6 is Lexi Winters, our catcher for today. And then Brooke Blankenship will be in the 7th hole at shortstop. Natalie Heath will be our designated player in the 8-hole, and then Emily Vinson in left field will be the 9-hole hitter for the Gamecocks.
Yep, they started exactly the same as they did yesterday, except for the pitcher in the circle. That's going to be Jory Hurd. Again, first pitch is just about a minute away. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you for some softball. And we welcome you back to Beckham Field. Again, day 2 of our weekend series here. South Carolina goes for the series win against number 19 Ole Miss. We are about ready for first pitch. 12:02 is your time, and we're underway. The first pitch, a strike right down the middle from Jory Hurd.
Jory setting the tone early, looked really good.
She's been great all year for this team and looking to continue the hot stretch here. This one driven into left field, but tailing foul from Pone. She finds herself in an early 0-2 count.
Yeah, she was a little bit late on that one. That was nice contact, but she was too late on it. If she can straighten it up a little bit, it'd be a nice hit.
I definitely agree. Pone made a lot of good contact yesterday, had 2 singles, but again, Jory Hurd's fastball is a lot different than Sam Gress's. It moves a little bit quicker, so I think the Rebels are going to need some time to adjust. The 0-2. Fouled off again down that third base side, but staying alive. Pone bats .372 on the year. Only one home run, but really an on-base machine, an OBP of .455. The 0-2. Driven to second base, Shelton backhands it and throws it over to Rhoades for out number 1.
Yeah, getting really solid contact on that one, but just hit it right to Shelton there. She didn't really have to move much for that play. And something I always talk about with the one-hole batters is you try to get as many pitches across the plate so that your team can see what the pitchers are throwing. And she got a few foul balls to help them out with that there, but not much for the team to see right here.
That brings up Lair Boutte, who slices one back over the head of Winters and foul. I definitely agree. You know, the more you can see a pitcher early, it helps the entire team. And Pone kind of had some good contact, just better defense there from Shelton. Boutte is a .417 hitter on the season, but has only played in about 20 games. But since then, she's been on a real tear. The 0-1, cut on and missed. The rise ball there from Hurd.
Yeah, that was a good one. A beautiful rise ball, just floated right up into the zone, and Butane could just not get up on it.
An 0-2 count for the second straight batter. Hurd fires, driven again to second base, fielded cleanly. Easy pitch and catch from Shelton to Rhoades for out number 2. You know, 2 lefties just started off for the Rebels, both inducing pretty easy contact over to Carly Shelton at second.
Yeah, and Rhoades doing her job. I mean, they're hitting the ball, but she's getting them easy outs right now. And like to see if the Rebels are going to catch up to her here soon.
We'll see as Hurd throws her first ball of the game, just missed a tad high, as it's the pitcher for the Rebels stepping into the batter's box. Aaliyah Binford bats .350. It's 14 extra base hits on the season. Really excellent for them. Swing and a miss. Hurd gets the sign here. 1-1 count, 2 outs here, top of the first. Swing and a miss again on the rise ball.
Yeah, Hurd has a really, really nice rise ball, but she's also making them swing low. That pitch before was pretty low in the zone, and Binford took a pretty good crack at it, too.
Well, the 1-2, just got a piece of it to stay alive. Yeah, Hurd's doing a really good job of locating so far.
Mm-hmm.
The 1-2 pitch again. Hurd fires. That one well high over the head of Winters, and the count evens up at 2-2 here. It's a beautiful day for softball. I mean, the sun's out. We're finally, you know, maybe unfortunately for us, feeling some of that Carolina heat here.
But hopefully those bats are all nice and warmed up, and we'll be seeing some good action today.
Absolutely. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Hurd sits down Binford, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the first for South Carolina. So we'll take a quick break and be back with you at the bottom of the first to see what the Gamecocks can do at the plate. And we welcome you back into Beckham Field. It was a 1-2-3, top of the first for South Carolina, and they come up to bat and leading it off per usual. It's Quincy Lilio. Dakota, tell us a little bit about the lefty hitter.
Lilio is exactly what you want in a one-hole hitter. She doesn't have any home runs. She only has 2 triples, but she has 47 hits, 10 doubles, and 23 RBIs. She gets on base, and her on-base percentage is .560. She's exactly what a one-hole hitter should be. She gets on base.
Absolutely. The first pitch from Benford misses low and outside for ball 1. And, you know, just to add to her .435 batting average, she has 32 walks. I mean, she's not afraid to take a free base.
Yeah, which, again, we're talking about one-hole batters trying to see those pitches. She'll watch them go by until she gets what she wants.
That one is called for a strike. The off-speed finds the zone, and the count's evened up at 1. The 1-1 from Benford. She comes home, misses the outside third just barely, and the count moves to 2-1. Got a little breeze as the flags are kind of blowing left to right just slightly, but not too much to affect the ball, I wouldn't say. That one skips the dirt before hitting home plate for ball 3. And control was a major issue for the Rebels yesterday. 10 walks, and really, South Carolina didn't hit the ball all that well, but they got on base.
Yeah, and we're already starting to see some of that again here early in the first.
As there we go, Lilio takes ball 4. She takes a free base in just 5 pitches there. And that'll bring up another lefty. It's Carly Shelton, the sophomore from Lexington. Bats .339 on the season, and just a really solid hitter for this club. 40 hits on the season and 28 RBI. The first pitch she sees is good for a strike there.
I'm interested to see if this Rebel ball problem is because they're trying to hit spots or because she doesn't want them to hit.
Slapped, and it's diving stop from Starr. She tries to throw it to first, but Shelton beats out the throw. It was a great play from Ryan Starr just to field that ball, but her throw was high, and Shelton easily safe at first. So that's going to be an infield single for Carly Shelton.
Yeah, and that was a great play, and she didn't get it out at first, but if she would have let that ball get past her, then Lilio could have probably gone around to third, which would have not looked good for the Rebels here. But what I was saying is I was wondering if she's not trying not to let her defense work behind her. She's trying to hit her spots and strike batters out. But it seems like now she maybe is starting to settle in and is going to let the defense work behind her.
Yeah, and, you know, with 2 runners on and no outs, she's going to have to start throwing strikes sooner rather than later against Ariana Rhoades.
Yeah, and Rhoades is not the person you want to have up right now. Rhoades is the big hitter for South Carolina. I mean, she's just done absolutely amazing this year. 11 home runs, .369 batting average.
Slugging an .833, so definitely brings some power. She swings and misses at the off-speed there, and the count's evened up at 1. Again, we saw South Carolina a couple situations similarly yesterday, but they left a lot of runners stranded. Looking to not do the same here. The 1-1 from Benford skips the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be probably a problem for both teams here, is trying not to leave those runners on base.
Absolutely, especially we only saw 1 run yesterday total. You got to convert. The 2-1 fastball misses low and downstairs. The count moves to 3-1. On deck is Ella Chansey, the right-handed hitting third baseman. It's a hitter's count here for Rhoades. Benford gets the sign, winds, delivers. That ball missed outside for ball 3, and the bases are full here at Beckham Field.
They've got to get this walk problem under control. South Carolina is not going to swing if it's not in the zone and where they want it. And coach is already coming out to the circle for this one because loading the bases this early, 2 of those being walks, is not what you want.
Yeah, I think, you know, for the Rebels, you're okay if Carly Shelton has an infield single. You know, it was a tough play for your defense, but either way, you know, wasn't a killer. But, you know, you walk 2 people. Now the bases are loaded. The big problem is that they have no outs. It'd be a lot different if you could maybe end the inning with a double play, but if a double play happens, you're probably at least getting a run out of it. So
even if they can pull off something like that, they're still probably going to give Carolina a run here, which, you know, you give this team an inch and they'll take a mile, and with 2 runners in scoring position and bases fully loaded, no outs, I feel like they've got to stop the bleeding early or South Carolina's going to run away with it.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to need to try and limit this the best they can, need to throw strikes, limit the walks, because South Carolina's more than happy taking a free base. I mean, they're a very disciplined team. As that'll conclude the visit at the circle. Again, the bases are loaded for Ella Chansey here in the bottom of the first. It's 0-0. South Carolina looking to get on the score sheet first. Benford comes home with it. Fastball, good for strike 1.
Seems like she's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, but then after that, she can't find her spots.
Yeah, that one definitely was a good one, and, you know, South Carolina probably just wanted to see a pitch go by here. The 0-1. Again, the off-speed hits the dirt before home plate, and that's probably the 3rd or 4th time we've seen that just in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, she's definitely either going to have to make an adjustment on that one or try to switch that pitch out with something else.
The 1-1 now for Benford. That one misses high and inside. The count moves to 2-1. And again, we have already got an arm warming up in the Rebel bullpen. We'll get you a number as soon as we can out there, but not a good sign for Benford. The 2-1 now to Chansey. Driven right back to Benford. She'll come home with it. Now she fires to first, and it is going to be a double play for the Rebels, but they get the lead runner at home, and that is huge.
Yeah, that was just about the best thing that could have happened for the Rebels right there. It was just not a too hard hit ball right back to Benford in the circle, and she easily got Lilio out at home, and then catcher turned it to first and got the run out at first. Still have runners in scoring position, 2 runners in scoring position, but 2 outs now.
2 outs. That's a killer. I mean, we saw Chansey hit into a double play in the first inning yesterday when there were runners on second and third. A killer as this one does get away from McKay as it missed outside, but the runners will hold. It's Abigail Knight, the lefty, up now for the Gamecocks in a very clutch moment, and Benford just, you know, alleviated a lot of that pressure. Again, 2 runners still in scoring position, but 2 outs. You can just focus on the batter. She'll miss outside with that fastball. Count moves to 2-0. And we saw that a lot yesterday, the fastball missing the outside third, but it looks like a pretty good pitch.
And even if she goes back and walks Abigail Knight here, still have 2 outs, still got to get the batter, still got to get a fly ball, something like that. They turn it, and then you see how quickly these innings can turn right back around in the Rebels' favor. Absolutely.
Benford went with the curveball there, and Knight was way out in front of it, so the count is now 2-1, 2 outs, runners on second and third for the Gamecocks. Knight drives this one into right field. Boutte fields it easily, barely has to move, and it was unconventional, but the Rebels get out of it via really a 1-2-3 double play that stopped the Gamecock onslaught. Again, we are still scoreless here, as we'll take a quick break before we head into the top of the second inning. And we welcome you back to Beckham Field. We are still scoreless. It's 0-0 here in the top of the second inning. It's been a little while since we've seen Jory Hurd, but she had a really nice 1-2-3 inning, Dakota.
Yeah, she did. And I'm interested to see if she's going to do it again or if the Rebels are able to catch up to her. But we've only been through 3 batters in their lineup. Haven't really let everybody see her yet. So I'm interested to see if she's going to keep it going.
Yeah, and they did themselves a favor getting out of that bottom of the first. Swing and a miss there from the cleanup hitter. It's the lefty, Percy Yamas, the freshman first baseman, having an excellent year, batting .373, 5 homers, 6 doubles, and 35 RBI. That leads the team. Rise ball misses way high. Count evened up at 1-1 here. The 1-1 now from Hurd. That one a little low, ball 2. And one thing about Yamas, she rarely strikes out, just 4 strikeouts on the season, but 2 of them came yesterday against Sam Gress.
Yeah, these Gamecock pitchers are definitely giving the Rebels a run for their money here.
Fastball again inside and a tad low. It's a 3-1 count, and this is the first time we've seen Hurd in a little trouble. The 3-1 right down the heart of the plate, and the count runs full. The Rebels looking for their first base run of the night. Hurd possibly eyeing her second K. She winds, delivers. Strike 3 looking. Yamas heads back to the dugout. It was a beauty from Hurd.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Yamas was looking for in that pitch because that's what we used to call a meatball. That one looked really, really nice down the middle. And when you got a full count like that, you know, you're swinging, you're fouling off, or unless it's way outside the zone, you know, you can watch it go by. But wonder what she was waiting on for that one.
Yeah, you know, usually you expand the zone a little bit. As that brings up the DP, Lexi Brady. It's the rise ball way high there from Hurd as they've got the shift on for her. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, when you talk about a power hitter, one of the best in the SEC, it's Lexi Brady. 12 homers on the year, 33 RBI, and a .376 batting average. And when she gets a hold of one, it's going pretty far. The 1-0 off the glove of Winters for ball 2.
Yeah, and it seems like Hurd might know that. She's not really giving her, like I just said, that meatball pitch down the middle. So I'm interested to see how she continues to pitch her with 2 balls now.
The 2-0 from Hurd. That one also missed. It looks like a much better pitch there from Hurd, but nonetheless a 3-0 count to the right-handed hitting Brady. Gress attacked her more with the off-speed yesterday, you know, pitch mixing and trying to make her life hard, but Hurd stays in it with a fastball down the middle.
Yeah, that was a nice one, but when you have a 3-0 count, you're not really swinging at anything, so.
Yeah, you know, it'd be maybe different if the score wasn't 0-0, but I think the Rebels are just looking for a base runner. The Gamecocks looking to avoid it. Swing and a miss there. Nice pitch from Hurd. Again, we've got a full count for the second batter in a row. She's got a pretty packed house here at Beckham Field.
Yeah,
Capacity just over 1,200 and probably getting pretty close to it here.
Quite a few of alumni here today as well.
That's right. The full count is a rise ball upstairs. The Rebels have their first base runner, and it's a 6-pitch walk for Lexi Brady.
That was a good look there on that rise ball from Brady. Jory Hurd was kind of getting the first few batters with that one, but she was able to let it go by.
And I understand that from Hurd. You know, you really don't want to give a great pitch to Lexi Brady, especially in a count where she's probably looking to swing. So see if she'll chase. She doesn't. Now you just trust your defense to get out of it, and that brings up the second baseman, Mackenzie Pickens. She'll take a first pitch strike. She picked up a hit last night as well. The 0-1 now to her. High for ball 1. Lexi Brady's 4 for 5 on stolen bases on the year, and, you know, seemingly maybe a little threatening over there. the 1-1 misses.
She's got a pretty good lead, and looks like they're going to go ahead and have a little team meeting in the circle to talk about that.
Yeah, and, you know, give Hurd a moment to collect herself here as she's missed a couple in a row. And Chastain Woodard's also going to go out to talk to number 25 for the Gamecocks. We'll try and see, but, you know, of course, nothing doing in the bullpen this early for South Carolina. But
no, if I was Chastain Woodard, I wouldn't take her out just yet. I'd give her a little bit longer to kind of find her groove, find her zone. I mean, she's only allowed one base runner at this point, so.
Well, and she gave Sam Gress a pretty big leash yesterday. You know, she threw over 100 pitches, but when you're pitching well, Chastain Woodard has shown, hey, we're going to reward you. Stay out there and, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Sam Gress. She has a lot of talent in the circle, but she also has a lot of longevity. She's able to throw even an entire game sometimes, and she does it with grace and really well. So Sam Gress has been a very integral part of this Gamecock team.
Yeah, it's her and Jory Hurd that eat a ton of innings for this squad. Yeah. 75 for Gress and 87 2/3 for Hurd. So, you know, that's getting over the 150 inning mark with just two pitchers. The 2-1 now back to Pickens. Misses just a tad high, but a much better pitch that time from Jory Hurd. Hurd gets the sign. Comes home to the right-handed Pickens. That one clips the inside third. Pickens had already tossed the bat back.
Yeah, she really tried to sell that one, but home plate umpire really knew what he saw.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes when they see you throw the bat, it's a close pitch. That makes them want to call it a strike even more.
Yeah.
The full count offering. It's going to be another 6-pitch walk as Mackenzie Pickens heads to first. Now it's runners on first and second with only one out for the Rebels, as they move their first runner into scoring position of the day.
And it's starting to look like the bottom of the first now, where Carolina started to settle in. But they have one out. That's the biggest thing right now is they have one out. I don't think they're bleeding. I don't think they're worried. But they definitely need to keep them from crossing home. And again, Brady over there has a very, very large lead at second base.
Yeah, interested to see if she ends up pulling the trigger and running or not. But again, it's the catcher now, Jamie McKay, in the batter's box, another right-handed hitter. That one just missed inside as the count's now 1-1. Runners on first and second with one out. McKay bats .269 on the year, typically serves as the backup catcher for Lexi Brady, who's in the DP role today and on second base. Off speed. No swing, but it looked like a strike either way to me, but it is called a ball, so 2-1 is the count. As we saw a tight strike zone last night, we might be seeing deja vu here, Dakota.
Yeah.
Hurd brings the 2-1 home, sliced into right field. Knight ranging over, and she catches it on the foul line. Brady's going to tag over to third, but it's 2 outs for the Gamecocks.
That was a great job by Vincent getting over to that ball on the other side of the foul line and then getting it in as quickly as possible. Of course, Brady being at second base and Vincent being all the way in left field, it's going to take that base to third, tag up and take that base. But, again, now they have 2 outs. They can worry about the batter.
Absolutely, and speaking of the batter, it's the third baseman, Angelina De Leon. Runners on the corners with 2 outs now. Hurd comes home, chopped into center field. Lilio racing in, and she makes the catch, and that will end the inning. The Gamecocks get out of the jam, and the Rebels leave 2 stranded. It's still 0-0. We're going to take a quick break before the bottom of the second inning. Stick with us here on SGTV. scoreless here in the bottom of the second inning, but welcome back to Beckham Field. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Dakota Morris. We've got a good one as South Carolina looks to go for the series win on a beautiful Columbia Saturday. That'll bring up the catcher now, Lexi Winters, to lead off the second. She's followed by Brooke Blankenship and Natalie Heath.
Love to see the Gamecocks here not leave batters on base. I mean, that was a problem yesterday, a problem with the Rebels as well. They've got to start moving people around.
As Winters swings on the first pitch, drives it deep to left, but Pone ready and waiting for that. It's a one pitch out, but good contact there from Winters.
Yeah, that was a great swing, great contact. She knew what she wanted. She was ready to swing on the first pitch, but it just happened to go straight to Pone.
And that was good defensive alignment from the Rebels because Pone was playing deep left knowing that, Winters has got some power and ended up playing right into her glove. That'll bring up the shortstop, another righty, Brooke Blankenship. Binford curves that one outside for ball one. We haven't talked much about Binford as a pitcher. She's had a solid year, a 2.54 ERA, and she's 7-0, so yet to register a loss. She throws her second ball of the AB there. She comes set. Now she comes home. That one's good for a strike. Nice pitch there to get back in the at-bat.
Like you mentioned earlier, there is a really tight strike zone today, so that's definitely challenging Binford a little bit. She's definitely going to have to hit her spots and keep it kind of tight.
Certainly, the 2-1 curveball gloved by Binford. It was lasered right back at her, but she was ready for it.
Yeah, good thing she had her glove out there because it was coming pretty quick right at her. And again, another Gamecock takes a pretty good chop, pretty good contact, but it's just not going to the places where they want it to go.
Yeah, and Binford, playing her own defense out there. It was her that had that double play that, helped strand the bases loaded for South Carolina.
Yeah, she's definitely able to field her position very well.
Yeah, and, that double play was a little more, a couple times they've gotten unlucky that it's just been right to her as Natalie Heath steps into the box. Watches a strike just barely catch that inside third. Natalie Heath's really got some power, if she's getting a hold of it, again, she's giving it a pretty good ride. The 0-1, fastball, good for strike two as Binford settling in now. So the catcher's going to call timeout here as Binford was about to throw. So good job from the home plate umpire to slow things down. That's Lyndon Baptiste behind the dish. The 0-2, off speed in the dirt. Heath swings. Firing to first is McKay, and the side is retired. It's a beautiful pitch from Binford. She picks up her first strikeout of the night, and that concludes the second inning. We'll take a quick break and be right back in the top of the third. Stick with us. at Beckham Field. Now batting for your Gamecocks, it's the 9-hole hitter, Emily Vinson. And it looks kind of like a repeat of yesterday so far. Not much offense and still scoreless through 2.5 innings. Fastball from Binford runs in at the hands of Vinson for ball 1. Binford calls time, and he'll just take a step back off the rubber.
If I'm Vincent right here, I'm not trying to do anything big. I'm trying to just get a little rally started for South Carolina by putting something on the ground, finding a base, and not doing too much.
As the 1-0 misses down, and again, just these disciplined at-bats. South Carolina is more than happy to run up the pitch count, and if they can, get on base via the walk.
Yeah, and even the walk can always start a little rally as well, and especially if the walks keep going.
The 2-0, Vincent squares around, but the pitch nowhere near the zone. A 3-0 count with the top of the lineup just around the corner. Pitch. Good for a strike right down the middle, but Vincent definitely not swinging.
Yeah, definitely not swinging on that one. Ashley Chastain-Woodard, I imagine, would not have been happy about that.
Definitely not. She has kind of squared around to line it up, but batting normally here. Grounds it to the shortstop, fielded by Starr. Fires to Yamas for out number 1. It's a good job from Binford to work back into the count and to do some easy contact.
Yeah, and again, if she, from what we've seen so far, if she lets her defense work, they work pretty well behind her, and they're getting those easy outs for her. So if she just lets the South Carolina players hit, it seems pretty clear that her defense is going to get the outs.
They sure have so far, as we are back with the top of the lineup. It's the lefty Quincy Lelio who walked her first time up.
Wonder if they're having some trouble with the signage here.
Yeah, the PitchCom device.
Yeah.
Not sure, but the catcher McKay is headed to the mound to talk to Binford. And we'll see if we get some batteries ran out to him. That did happen yesterday, but seemed to be all good, as no pitches have been thrown to Lelio yet, so just a little extra break for her and Binford. She comes home with the first pitch of the AB. Good for strike 1. That's a nice fastball.
Yeah, that one seemed like it had a little bit more heat on it than what we've seen from her so far today. Might be warming up her arm.
The 0-1. Lelio slices this one into center field, and it'll drop for a single just over the head of Pickens at second. And the Gamecocks have just their second hit of the day.
Yeah, and that ball, again, it's not a hard hit ball. It's not back to the warning track or anything like that, but it's in that in-between area that just is so hard for middle infielders to turn around and get back to, and for the outfielders to run into quick enough. When I was playing, I always hated balls like that. You know, you think it's an easy out, but just nobody can get there quick enough.
As it brings up Carly Shelton. She lines it to the shortstop. It bounces off Starr. Lelio's held up at second. The throw back as she overran the base and's tagged out. That's a killer, as it's another base running error, but another single for Carly Shelton, as I was going to say, as that one is just unfortunate.
Yeah, as a base runner, that's not a mistake you can make right now. You know, they only had 1 out. She would have been in scoring position, and that ball did bounce off the shortstop, but it didn't bounce far enough, I think, for her to get to third. It was just too much of a lead around second base there. Yeah,
too much of a turn as Ariana Rhoades comes up. Watches a drop ball kick up some dust for ball 1.
But good heads-up playing by the Rebels shortstop Ryan Starr to get it over there, and also good by their second baseman Mackenzie Pickens for being there and ready for that throwback to tag her out.
Absolutely, the 1-0. Good for strike 1, and it's just heads-up defense, and you know, for Lelio, wanting to be a little heads-up, the ball just didn't ricochet off Starr far enough, and unfortunate luck for the Gamecocks is now it's just a runner on first with 2 outs and a 1-1 count. Rhoades grounds this one hard to Pickens. She fields it at second. Throw over to Yamas, and that will end the inning. The Gamecocks do pick up 2 hits, but a bit of a mistake on the base path and some good pitching from Binford gets the Rebels out of the inning. We've gone through 3 innings scoreless. We'll take a quick break and be right back for the 4th. Welcome back to Beckham Field and SGTV's broadcast of Gamecock softball, the 10th ranked team in the country, as they host number 19 Ole Miss. Again, going for that series win today after a 1-0 victory yesterday. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Dakota Morris, and we are scoreless through 3 innings of play. Dakota, what have you liked from the home team here?
Well, Joy Hurd has just done an amazing job in the circle so far. She's getting a lot of strikeouts. She's hitting her spots, and then those hits that she does allow are pretty easy outs for the Gamecocks to work with. I think they're just doing a great job, and on the offensive side, it seems like their bats are starting to warm up a little bit, but nothing that's got them a lot of play around the base. But we'll see how that goes right now, and hopefully Joy Hurd will keep it going with the pitching today. But we are going through the second time of the lineup now with Ole Miss, so they've seen her once before today. Saw Sam Gress yesterday, so didn't really get a good look at Joy Hurd yesterday, but now they've been through the lineup with her once. We'll see if they've got her number yet.
Yeah, they saw Hurd for just the final out yesterday on one pitch. It was a line out, and that was it. But again, we were held up by an SEC Network interview there. But we're back with action as Binford lines the first hit into left center field. Vincent racing back to the wall. Binford in at second with a stand-up double for the Rebel pitcher. Gets their first hit of the game.
Yeah, that was a great hit right there and a great placement all the way back to the wall there, and easily allowed her to go to second base. And we'll see if that starts a little bit of a rally for the Rebels, somebody in scoring position, and up to bat is Percy Lamas.
Percy Lamas, yeah, the lefty.
And she's not somebody you want to have a runner in scoring position with.
Yeah, very dangerous. Binford, that was her 10th double of the year. As Hurd moves in for this righty-lefty matchup and starts out with a strike. And Binford just kind of ambushed a fastball there. And Dakota, you put anything in the gaps, it's pretty much an extra base hit no matter what.
Yeah.
Yamas pops this one up, but it is tailing foul, and no play made in the stands. Strike 2 now. Yamas struck out her first time up, and Hurd would love to get that same result again to keep Binford still at second. Hurd comes home with it. Yamas grounds it to short. Blankenship fields. They've got Binford in a pickle. Chansey races over. Pitches it to Shelton. Back to Blankenship in the tag. Yamas will head to second, but they do get the lead runner. So it's going to be a fielder's choice that sees, really the same situation, just adding out to the tally for the Rebels.
Yeah, but that was a great job by the Gamecock defense. I'll say shortstop Brooke Blankenship, she knew that the base runner was right there in front of her, and instead of just ignoring her, she put her in that pickle, and the Gamecocks did a good job filling in on each side. But also a great job by Llamas being heads up and taking that base, knowing that her base runner in front of her was going to be out.
Yeah, and just beat the throw to second. Swing and a miss from Lexi Brady, the designated player, as she walked her first time up. Again, this lineup for the Rebels, I think 1 through 6, you've got really big-time hitters all batting over 300. It's really tough. South Carolina looking to get out of it. Hurd misses low. Count is 1-1 with 1 out and a runner on second here again. We're still scoreless. Ole Miss picking up their first hit just now in the top of the 4th. Hurd fires. Up high, it goes off the glove of Winters, and Llamas is safe at third. Not sure if that's going to be a pass ball or a wild pitch, but Winters had a chance at it just off the edge of the glove.
Yeah, and that's not something we've seen from Jory Hurd so far today, and it's interesting that it comes with the base runner on second. She's usually pretty good at keeping it in there where Winters is able to get to it, but just not that one.
The 2-1 swung through and missed. It was a big cut from Brady, and the infield's in here. You know, you want to get the play at home, keep this game scoreless, but ideally, a strikeout makes your life a whole lot easier. Hurd looks for it now. The 2-2. She winds. She fires. Fouled back. Off the netting. Brady stays alive. We saw her work a 9-pitch at-bat last night. I mean, she was just a foul ball machine, and that's the sign of a great hitter.
Yeah, for sure. You keep hitting it until you hit it square and get it where you want and stay in that count. Make her throw to you and make her throw what you want.
And for Brady, really, any sort of contact, you at least give Llamas a chance. The 2-2 all over again. Fastball low in the zone, and the count is full. Brady reached first on a full count walk back in the second inning. She's looking to do it again. Hurd's looking to sit her down.
Interested to see what Hurd will throw here with a big hitter up and 3 balls.
The full count pitch. Sliced over the head of Blankenship. Llamas will come home to score. And that breaks the deadlock. It's an RBI single from Lexi Brady.
Yeah, and that was another one of those hits that we just talked about last inning. It's not too hard hit. It kind of just floated right over the shortstop, but not anywhere that she could get it and not anywhere that Lilio could get it and quick enough to get it. Just a really good placement for the Rebels, unfortunate placement for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, and especially with the runner at third, they were playing a little bit in. I still think it might have been over the head of Blankenship in her normal position, but just mighty tough as the first pitch to Mackenzie Pickens is a strike. It's Brady, the runner at first again. The Rebels now have a 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th.
1-0 is not really a big lead, but it was all that it took to win yesterday, so that is something to consider here.
Another strike. Hurd really painting that inside portion of the zone. And you're absolutely right. There's been a real drought of runs here in this series so far. The Gamecocks will need to answer with the bats, but they've got time to do it.
Oh, they definitely have plenty of time for sure.
The pitch from Hurd, it's just fouled straight down as Pickens stays alive. And this Ole Miss team, it's, you know, a very interesting roster construction. They've got a ton of seniors and then some freshmen who are some of the best freshmen in the entire country.
Yeah.
One of them being Percy Llamas and Mackenzie Pickens, who's batting now. The 0-2. Pickens gets under it. It's lifted up. Lilio comes into the edge of the grass and makes an easy grab for the second out.
Yeah, and I always say this about Lilio. She's really great about being vocal about those plays. That one the second baseman probably could have gotten to, but it's so much easier when you're in the outfield to come into the play rather than making a middle infielder go backwards out to the play. And she always does a great job being vocal so that her middle infielders know if she's getting it or not, and they can peel off.
Yeah, we're going to see a little timeout here. Not sure if the Gamecocks are going to make a change, but I think you're absolutely right. Is that I don't think there was enough on that ball for Shelton to range back and get it. So heads-up play from the Gamecock center fielder. And I believe we are going to see a pitching change. And it might just be number 9. Sam Gress headed out to the circle. It is.
It is.
Wow, and let's talk about Sam Gress's performance yesterday. I mean, 7 2/3 innings, lowered her season ERA all the way down to 2.61, and she was just dealing. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, she definitely has the longevity in the circle. She can stay out there and pitch an entire game, and she does really great, and it seems like batters are never really able to quite catch up with her. So, but they did see her all day yesterday. So I'm interested in what the Rebel approach in the box is going to be here. Having seen Sam Gress so much and now having her back out, I would say pretty early in this game. I honestly thought that Jory Hurd would get a little bit more time in the circle, but Ashley Chastain Woodard obviously wants to go ahead and stop the bleeding in its tracks as quickly as possible.
Absolutely right. And again, Sam Gress was pretty unhittable for the Rebels yesterday. She picked up 6 strikeouts. We've seen her at some points on the season struggle with control, really cut down the walks yesterday. She was excellent, and when she did get into trouble, she got out of them just as quickly.
Yeah. And if it was working yesterday, if it's not broke, why fix it? You know, put her back out there. And again, if it doesn't work today, if they've somehow caught up to her, then they'll just make another pitching change. But it's a good idea to throw in there and see what's happening, see what's going on.
And Jory Hurd's day is done. After 3 2/3 innings, she threw 68 pitches, gave up 1 earned run. Of course, she's responsible for the runner at first, and she even racked up 5 strikeouts. Excuse me, I had to tally them up real quick, but a very solid outing for Hurd, and it could also be a bit of a conservation tactic. You know, you take her out, Hurd can probably throw tomorrow. But I wonder, after a big day yesterday, and we'll see if Gress finishes the game today, but this could be it for Sam Gress for the whole series.
Yeah, but if they get the win today, they get that series win, and maybe Chastain Woodard's not as worried about winning tomorrow if they get the win today. So put Sam Gress out there to ensure that they get it down today. But then, again, if they don't win today and you still want to use Sam Gress, it's going to be really hard on her.
Yeah, not a lot of rest, but again, her and Jory Hurd have been eating a lot of innings for this team, but we'll see what she does here. Again, 2 outs, runner on first. It's Jamie McKay up to bat. She fouls the first pitch from Gress off the netting and into the glove of Winters for strike 1. The one thing I loved about Gress's performance yesterday was you could see the passion she was playing with, especially as the game went on. Every time she struck a batter out or her defense made a big play, you know, just really getting into it, and that's something that can light a fire under a team.
And that's something that helps you keep going after so many innings. And it's not cold or cool out here today. It's very warm, and it's hard to be in that circle pitching constantly. And she's actually even wearing sleeves.
I was about to say, I don't know how she's got the long sleeves on. I'm in a button down here.
Maybe it's some kind of compression that, like, helps her arm or something, but I have no clue how she's doing that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot Columbia day, as you did miss a pitch there. It was just a McKay foul ball, but Gress, the 0-2. 3 straight foul balls for McKay, this one down the first base line.
Yeah, and they're all late. If she could straighten that last one out, it'd be a pretty good one to right field, but Gress is pretty fast, and they haven't been able to get on top of her quite yet.
Yeah, and one thing about Gress is she's got a very good pitch mix. You know, she can really go to the off speed, and we saw her get hitters way out in front yesterday. The 0-2. 2 outs and a runner on first. Gress comes home. Grounded foul to third base as McKay does a good job just staying alive.
Great job by the Rebels third baseman coach over there, barehanding that one.
Made a good play yesterday, too, a barehanded snag. Me and JP had our theory that maybe a former ball player over there. I mean, that was pretty agile.
Yeah, he's definitely got some experience under his belt.
The 0-2, off speed, McKay way out in front, and Gress picks up her first K of the night, and that concludes the top of the 4th inning. The Rebels did tack on a run as they lead it 1-0, and we'll see if the Gamecocks can answer in the bottom of the 4th. Stay with us here on Student Gamecock Television. we're back here at Beckham Field. The Rebels have taken a 1-0 lead off a big top of the fourth inning. Well, big in the standards of this game, you know, as it's been the only run so far. And this Gamecock offense looks to get on the board. Leading it off is going to be the third baseman, Ella Chansey, followed by Abigail Knight and Lexi Winters.
If there was ever a time for the Gamecocks to get things going, it would be now. It's only the fourth, but it's only the fourth in the sense that they have more time and the Rebels have more time. So if they fall behind too quickly, they could keep giving the Rebels some runs that could put them way far behind. And like we mentioned earlier, it's only a one-run lead right now, but that was all it took yesterday.
Yeah, and I feel like we've just been waiting for the offenses to get into this series. You know, two pretty solid offenses on display here, but pitching has been the story of the series. As again, they wrap up an interview with head coach Ashley Chastain Woodard, and SGTV alum Kate Crenshaw on the call for SEC Network. So, you know, hey, shout out to some SGTV legends. You know, maybe we'll be in their shoes a couple years down the line. But cool stuff is Binford back on the rubber, and we are back to some softball here. The first pitch of the fourth. Misses inside for a ball on Ella Chansey. She unfortunately grounded into that 1-2-3 double play with the bases loaded back in that first inning. Binford went with off speed, but it doesn't matter. Still a ball. So that was just her 41st pitch of the day. She's been pretty efficient so far, Dakota.
Yeah, she's thrown quite a few balls, but it's not stopped her from getting out quite a few batters and drawing some easy outs for her defense. I'd like to see how long she ends up staying in for the Rebels here.
Yeah, we've seen a pitcher out there, Brianna Lopez, the lefty, kind of warming up as the 3-0 pitch is good for a strike there against Ella Chansey, and she'll have to kind of lock back into this at-bat.
Yeah, all the way back in the first inning, they had some movement in the Rebels bullpen, but Binford is still out there, and she's still going strong.
The 3-1. Chopped into right field, racing in is Boutte, and she makes a nice grab. Just a little too much air under it for Chansey.
Yeah, the Gamecocks really need to start finding some gaps here. Either put something on the ground in a gap or keep it in the air, line drive in a gap. Really need to get some base runners on and not leave them out there, leave them stranded, but they've had a little bit of trouble trying to even get a base runner on these last two innings.
Yeah, and the only batters with hits so far is the 1 and the 2 hitters. It's Quincy Lelio and Carly Shelton. But now batting's the right fielder, Abigail Knight. The lefty watches the drop ball find the zone. It's a way to start quick for Binford there. The 0-1 to Knight. Fastball. That one misses just a hair outside, and we're evened up at 1-1 with one out. And it's a 1-0 Rebel lead here at Beckham Field. Again, we've got some cloud coverage right now, so the sun goes away just for a minute. Fastball outside again.
And a little bit of a breeze blowing back towards home plate, first base area. Nothing really that's going to help any batter out here today.
Yeah, and the wind definitely not too strong. It'd feel nicer for us if it was.
Yeah.
The 2-1 misses in the dirt. 3-1 count for the second batter in a row. As Binford, sometimes she gets herself in a little trouble, but feels like when the going gets tough, that's when she throws her best pitch.
Yeah, maybe she works really well under pressure because she can dig a little bit of a hole, but she seems to climb right back out of it every time.
The 3-1 to Knight. Not this time.
Not this
Fastball
time.
outside. It's a 5-pitch walk from Abigail Knight. And the Gamecocks have a base runner, and really, it doesn't matter how you start it, but they need more of that.
Absolutely, even if they can just stand up there and draw a few more walks.
Absolutely. Lexi Winters with a runner on first is up to bat. Her last time up, she smoked one into left field, but unfortunately right in the glove of Jaden Pone. That off speed again doesn't even make it to the plate. Ball one. Coach Chastain Woodard's going to call time, as it's going to be Nia McKnight pinch running in for Abigail Knight. And McKnight hasn't seen much action, actually any action at the plate. Only used as a pinch runner so far in her Gamecock career, but she sure is speedy.
Absolutely, and only one out on the board. I'm interested to see if she tries to make something happen here and get something going on the bases.
Well, you know, for the Rebels, it's McKay catching today and not Brady, so you've got a backup catcher who doesn't play as much. The speed of McKnight, I'd like to see her take second here.
Yeah, me as well.
The 1-0 to Winters. Off-speed drop by McKay. She fires down in time. Starr with a nice tag, and McKnight just didn't get a good jump. She kind of hesitated there on the throw.
Chastain, we're just going to come out and talk to the home plate umpire
Yeah, we might,
about that one.
Might see a challenge here. We've seen one in every single game I've done here at Beckham Field, and we'll see if they initiate that here. The call on the field is that McKnight is out. It's a 2-0 count to Winters with 2 outs, and they should pop this review up on the Jumbotron, but we'll get word from the head official here. We are going to get a challenge here. Chastain Woodard wants to see that one again, and, you know, I wasn't sure how close it was, but if McKnight is safe at second, then you have a 2-0 count, 1 out, Winters with some pop in that bat.
Definitely a big spot for the Gamecocks here. I'm not surprised that Chastain Woodard challenged that one because it could really turn around their game. But McKnight, she just jumped off the base, had a little bit of hesitation. I think she thought that the catcher behind the plate had the ball, and once she realized she bobbled it around a little bit, she tried to take the base, but it didn't bounce off the catcher's glove. She just kind of bobbled it right to the ground where she was, and then coupled with that hesitation from McKnight, I think the throw was pretty on time.
It was a really good throw. Again, it's going to be hard to overturn because, you know, the call on the field is so important. She was called out, and it's got to be indisputable video evidence.
Yeah,
there's our best angle there. I was waiting to see if we actually had a good one. We can actually see McKnight. It's pretty close there at second.
Yeah, the throw beat her out, but she might have slid her hand around around the glove of the shortstop there.
It's going to be mighty close. So she's on like the corner of the bag there. Call is upheld and out. Again, the call was not confirmed. I just don't think they could overturn it, and that's just how crucial that making the call on the field is. But unfortunate for the Gamecocks, they lose what would have been a runner in scoring position. 2 outs and a 2-0 count to the catcher, Lexi Winters.
Yeah, you got to have undisputable evidence to overturn a call, and it just was not clear enough.
Drop ball from Binford, good for the first strike of this at-bat.
But it seems like the Gamecocks are having a little bit of problems on the bases, not being as smart as they should be, not being as conservative.
Yeah, I understand wanting to go out and, you know, make a change here as that off-speed found the zone, and it's a 2-2 count now with 2 outs to Winters. But it felt like McKnight just didn't commit to it, and if she had, I think she would have been pretty safe. But McKay rallied well. This one chopped back to the pitcher off the glove of Binford. Winters safe at first. A 2 out. What could be a single. We'll see how they officially rule it. They give her the hit there. I think that's pretty fair. It's a tough play for Binford as the pitcher.
Yeah, definitely a tough play for Binford. It was a good chop that went right over her head, and then by the time the shortstop Ryan Starr got to it, it wasn't enough time to beat Winters to the base.
And that brings up the Gamecocks' own shortstop. It's Brooke Blankenship with a runner at first. In 2 down, just trying to get a little rally going in the bottom of the 4th. The first pitch to her misses well outside for ball 1. And I think if Binford didn't touch that, Winters likely would have beaten out the throw. It was kind of, again, one of those awkward speeds where it's really hard to play by everyone.
Yeah, you just have to kind of wait for it to bounce and then come back down to you.
The 1-0. Misses again, ball 2. That one a lot closer than the first, but the umpire, Baptiste, doesn't give it. Binford gets the sign. She comes home with it. That one is good for a strike. A bit of a delayed call there. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on with that one either, but I would have been quite surprised if he called down a ball.
Yeah, no, that was a much better pitch, and I feel like inside on the hitters have been a little bit more favorable tonight. The 2-1. That one on the outside called a strike, and just like that, Binford has taken the count back to 2-2. 2 outs, so Deuce is wild here in the bottom of the 4th. The Gamecocks looking to equalize as the Rebels have a 1-0 lead. Swing and a miss. And the tag by McKay. That one down and away, but Blankenship chased, and that will end the Gamecocks' 4th inning. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in the top of the 5th as Ole Miss has a 1-0 lead. And thanks for hanging out with us. We welcome you back here to Student Gamecock Television's coverage of Gamecock softball. Ole Miss has a 1-0 lead after scoring 1 in the top of the 4th inning. And we're now in the top of the 5th. And leading off for the Rebels, it's the third baseman, Angelina De Leon. 0 for 1 on the night with a line out to center fielder. And again for your Gamecocks, it's Sam Gress in the circle. She was subbed in for Jory Hurd to get that last out of the 4th. Her first pitch struck well by De Leon. Vincent races back all the way to the warning track, but makes a really nice play for out number 1.
Yeah, that was a great cut by De Leon right there, pushing left fielder Emily Vincent all the way to the warning track. But good for her for doing that drop step, getting back there as quickly as possible and making the adjustments to switch sides to make sure she could get that ball.
It's exactly what I was going to say. She did a good job, navigating her body there and, not running into the wall as that one mighty close. As is Taylor Malvin now, the slap hitter. Watches ball 1 go by. Her last time out, she struck out looking. It was Jory Hurd just blitzing a fastball by her, but she worked a good at-bat before that. The 1-0 now to her. She slaps it through the legs of Chansey and into left field. That's a good piece of hitting right there from Taylor Malvin.
Yeah, that was a hard-hit ball, and Chansey was not able to get her glove down quick enough. I mean, she was in the perfect position to field that ball, but couldn't even get her glove down on the ground quick enough to get that one.
Yeah, that's just excellent piece of hitting. I mean, Chansey probably not expecting that ball to just be scorched like that, but but a runner on for the Rebels. And now we move to the leadoff hitter of the game. It's Jaden Pone. The top of the lineup is here. She fouls one into the netting out in left field.
And, I mean, this faster pitching, harder pitching by Sam Gress, it helps the batters out in the way, too. If they can get their bat on it, the ball's going to be hit harder. It's going to be hit further. And I think that's what we're starting to see here a little bit.
And Pone, I think, was the best hitter for the Rebels yesterday. She notched 2 singles together and really hit the ball hard. The 0-1 to her. She slaps it over the glove of Chansey. There's no play. It's another single for the Rebels, and they've got 2 on and only 1 out.
Yeah, they're starting to find those gaps like we were talking about earlier, just putting the ball in places where the Gamecocks are not able to get to it and make a play on it, and they're doing it pretty hard, pretty good contact.
Yeah, and they're attacking Sam Gress early, not working deep counts. If they see something they like, they're starting to get the bat to it, as now it brings up Lair Boutte Runners on first and second for the lefty right fielder. She's 0 for 2 today. Looking to change that. She fouls one back.
Another big thing for the Rebels here is that they're keeping the ball on the ground. Like we just saw with that hard hit ball to left field, it was a great hit but still got the out. If you can keep it on the ground, get a few runners on, move people around, then we don't have to worry about giving those easy outs in the air.
That's exactly right. And, you know, anything on the ground, the runners are going to be moving, and they move quick. The off speed a little low, and Boutte didn't chase. Count is evened up at 1-1. Again, runners on first and second. One out as the Rebels lead 1-0 and looking to extend it here. Gress brings the 1-1 home. Boutte gets under it and lifts it over the stadium back into the parking lot. And the count is now 1-2. A very crucial pitch coming up for Sam Gress as this crowd's starting to get into it. 2 runners on, and if the Gamecocks can get out of this one, Dakota, you just feel like it'd be huge, you know, for their momentum to get out of a jam and go try and get some offense for yourself.
Absolutely. And not put themselves so far behind. Only 1 run right now, but that could change very quickly here.
It sure can. The 1-2. Boutte check swings, but it goes off her bat anyway. And foul.
And I think if the Gamecocks can get out of this, they need to take a page out of the Rebels' book.
Yep.
Because the Rebels have come out this inning, it seems like they're almost completely different. They're so much more aggressive in the box right now. Like you just said, they're attacking Sam Gress really early, and they're putting really hard stuff on the ground. And the Gamecocks have to try to do the same thing if they can get out of this.
The 1-2, the curveball just barely fought off from Boutte. A good job staying back on that one. We saw a lot of hitters yesterday shift way too early and then just try and poke at it with the bat.
Yeah, you could definitely see the front part of her body really wanted to go, but she was able to hold it back just long enough to foul that ball off.
Gress comes set again for the 6th pitch of the at-bat. 2 runners on. Grounded back up to Gress. She fires to short. Blankenship, it's a double play. 1-6-3 as South Carolina gets out of the 5th. Blankenship was slid into at second, but she does get up and walk back to the dugout. What a way to get out of that jam right there. And you talk about momentum. Nothing like a clean double play to get out of it.
Yeah, and great heads-up fielding by Sam Gress there to not go for the easy out at third or even pay attention from the runner running second, or not third, at first from the runner, and then the runner running second to third, but knowing to throw right to second so that they could turn that double play and easily get out of the inning. That was a great job, and it was a hard hit ball that she fielded very well.
Yeah, we've seen some great fielding from the pitchers, and we'll take a quick break before the Gamecocks come up and again try to get some scoring. Welcome back to Beckham Field. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rebels lead it 1-0. South Carolina looking to strike back. And the first 3 hitters for them is going to be Natalie Heath, Emily Vincent, and then the top of the lineup, Quincy Lilio. And the top of the lineup has been where South Carolina has had their limited success batting tonight. Definitely looking to get there if they can.
Yeah, and starting to see her now for the, I believe, third time through. It's important that they start making adjustments and start putting the ball somewhere. And, you know, we're getting farther and into the game, and even though the Rebels, again, don't have very much, it's enough to win it right now. And USC has got to make a change here and do what the Rebels did last at the top of the inning. Is get aggressive, attack the pitcher.
And if you need to, play small ball, you know, get these quick hits and run the bases well. The first pitch to Heath, grounded back to Binford. It's an easy play. She fires Siyamas in a one pitch out. Is not what the Gamecocks had in mind.
Yeah, and that one just kind of died right on its bounce in front of the plate. Very easy for Binford to get that out there. And when I said put something on the ground, it's not exactly what I meant. Got to find a gap somewhere. Stop giving it right back to the pitcher, because we've seen it this game. Binford can field her position.
Yeah.
So hit it somewhere else would be my advice for the Gamecocks right now.
Yeah, really make someone make a tough play.
Yeah.
That one, even if Binford's the one to make it, but an easy ground out is not what they had in mind. But it's a pinch hitter, Emma Sellers now for South Carolina. A beautiful curveball there from Binford. Hits the zone for strike one.
Yeah, I'm sure Ashley Chastain's just trying to make something happen right now. Try to shake up the offense, shake up the defense a little bit. Grab that pinch hitter and see what she can do.
The 0-1. Another curveball, good for strike two, and Sellers not swinging at those two good off-speed pitches. She's found herself in a hole here.
Yeah, now it's Binford's count. She can throw whatever she'd like here, and
she goes off-speed again. Sellers golfs it into the outfield, but Pickens, the speedy second baseman, makes the grab for out number two.
Almost a little collision between second baseman Mackenzie Pickens and shortstop Ryan Starr there. But they were able to hold on to the ball and not get anybody hurt.
And, for South Carolina last inning, they made Binford throw 20 pitches and at least made her work a little bit harder, even though they didn't score. Now she's through 2 outs in 5 pitches. She's moving quickly here with a strike to Quincy Lilia.
Yeah, she's definitely found her zone here, and the Gamecock hitters seem a little off-put by it. They haven't been able to catch up yet.
The 0-1 to Lilia. Another strike. Binford is filling up the zone right now.
And again, she's already right back in this spot where the batter feels all of the pressure, and all of the pressure is off the pitcher. She can throw whatever she wants and try to get them to chase something. And
the 0-2, off speed, Lilio lines it into center field. The leadoff hitter for South Carolina is on base for the third straight time today.
Yeah, if there's anyone you can count on from this Gamecock offense, it's going to be Quincy Lilio to get on base. Like I said, she doesn't hit home runs all the time, but boy, if she doesn't find herself on base pretty much all of the time.
She walked in the first, singled in the third, and now singled again here in the fifth. Gamecocks looking for a 2-out rally, and it's Carly Shelton. Her and Lilia have done all the damage tonight as she's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. She swings at the first pitch, pops it up to third base. An easy play for De Leon, and not the way Shelton drew it up, as that will end the bottom of the fifth for South Carolina. Ole Miss still has a 1-0 lead. Again, stay with us here on Student Gamecock Television. We'll be back with the sixth after a short break. Welcome back here to Student Gamecock Television. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Dakota Morris. Gamecock softball's in a close one here. Ole Miss has a 1-0 lead as we are now in the top of the 6th inning. It's the time in this game, you know, it's running out for South Carolina to get back in it, but they're going to want to get through the 3 through 5 hitters for Ole Miss to give themselves a fighting chance.
Yeah, and they got to hold them off here, especially the more runs they put up on the board, the more Carolina's got to match.
And Benford really got things going for the Rebels in the top of the 4th with a double her last time up. She sees a curveball. Miss inside for ball 1 there. That one looked pretty perfect, but doesn't quite get the call.
Yeah, I'm not too sure Gress was happy about that one either.
Nonetheless, she's going to fire the 1-0 in. It's grounded to second base. Shelton Fields fires to Rhoades for an easy out. And, you know, I think we're going to call that a ball don't lie moment there. I mean, that one, you know, you throw a perfect pitch, doesn't get the call, you get an easy ground out the next pitch. I think they'll take that trade.
Yeah, it always comes back.
That's right. Brings up Percy Yama. She's 0 for 2 today. Had that fielder's choice and actually ended up scoring the only run of the game back in the 4th. She fouls off the first pitch she sees. It was a high rise ball from Gress.
Again, the Rebels seem to just be really aggressive on Sam Gress here. They've already saw her all day yesterday, and this is her second inning now for the Gamecocks. And, I mean, the Rebels are ready to hit.
I like the approach. I mean, Gress it's probably her game the rest of the way, so you might as well just swing the bat and see what happens. That one misses low, and the count's evened up at 1-1, 1 out, and a 1-0 lead for the Rebels here, top of the 6th. The outfield's got a bit of a shift on for Yamas. Lilio playing to the left of her usual spot, as well as Knight out in right field, as this one is sliced into the left field netting, almost going into the Ole Miss bullpen out there.
Yeah, and it seems like a pretty good call by Lilio to be playing more towards left.
As Yamas does have some power. See if she can get a pitch that allows her to utilize it. And for Gress, really want to move quickly here and get your offense back out there as quickly as you can. The 1-2. Again driven, this one into about the exact same spot. Another foul ball. Still a 1-2 count now.
She's just a little bit late on these, but she's making great contact. If she can adjust her swing just a little bit, fix the timing up, she'd have a pretty good smack here.
I think you're right. I mean, she's clearly finding it, just hasn't gotten the timing down. It's the fastball misses, making it a 2-2 count. Here to Yamas.
But again, now it's Sam Gress's count, and she knows what she's looking for, and she's probably not going to give it to her, at least not yet.
Yeah, she hasn't gone off speed in a while. It'd be interesting to see if she does here. The 2-2. Went with the rise ball, and it was way high. The count runs full to Yamas, who's worked a really good at-bat here. Gress picks up the rosin bag, throws it down and toes the rubber. The 7th pitch of the at-bat to Yamas. As she winds, deals, grounded over to first. Rhoades fields it easily, steps on the bag for out number 2. It's a good pitch.
Yeah, that was a great job by Gress, just working her through that count and then adjusting to the specific batter to get her on the inside, on her hands a little bit, and make her swing way too early to get it back to Ariana Rhoades at first for an easy out.
Yeah, and she'd been working that outside part of the zone the whole at-bat, and then she runs something in on Yamas.
Yeah, then she switched it up on her right there at the end.
It's really smart stuff as Lexi Brady comes back up to bat and whiffs at the first pitch. A violent swing there, but didn't get anything.
Yeah, Brady seems like she's been ready to knock it over Pence about the whole game, and I'd like to see if she'd be able to do it, especially against Gress, who she saw so much yesterday.
We've seen no long ball yet in this series. Again, just 2 total runs. It's a grounder. Blankenship Fields fires. Rhoades catches it easily. And it's a 1-2-3 inning from Sam Gress. And now the Gamecocks offense, if not now, win. You trail by 1. We'll see what they can do after a quick break. Welcome back to Beckham Field here. The Gamecocks still trail 1-0 as it's in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's a good part of the lineup to try and get something done. Leading off is Ariana Rhoades, followed by Ella Chansey and Abigail Knight, the 3, 4, and the 5 hitters. We're looking to finally crack Aaliyah Binford. She's pitching a shutout so far.
Yeah, and like you said, Ariana Rhoades is usually the big hitter for the Gamecocks here. I'd love to see her come alive a little bit and get a rally going. I mean, you said we weren't worried about that one run back in the 4th, but now we're in the bottom of the 6th. You got to make something happen.
Absolutely. I mean, if things hold, you've only got this and one more chance. It's the 0-1. Off speed, just missed outside. Rhoades checked her swing and held back just enough to even up the count.
That was a great hold by Rhoades. She wanted to go, but kept her hands just back far enough.
Yeah, I've really yet to see her in this series get a hold of one, and
it's not like her for sure.
Yeah, the 1-1, high and outside. Count moves to 2-1, and again, she's more than happy to take a walk, and I think South Carolina would be more than happy with that. But if she gets something good over the plate, this game can be tied with just one swing of the bat. Binford gets her sign. Now she comes home with it. Off speed low in the zone. The count moves to 3-1. They'll check down the first base ump, and I didn't think she swung either.
Yeah, another great hold by Rhoades here. But you can tell she's ready to swing for sure.
Yeah, again, a really packed crowd at Beckham Field, and really anything offensively will get them going. The 3-1. That one is a strike. Fastball in the outside corner. Fills up the count. It's a huge moment right here. Full count.
Yeah, this could completely turn the tides for either team.
Definitely. I mean, there's no outs, no runners on. The full count pitch. Rhoades fouls it off.
Been seeing a lot of foul balls from the Rebels today, but again, not from the Gamecocks. I think they could do a better job of working Binford here. She's kind of been coasting through a little bit.
Not a ton of swings. The full count. Swing and a miss. Beautiful curveball from Binford down in the zone. Got Rhoades to just whiff on everything. A 7-pitch strikeout from Binford. And that's really tough. So you sit down your best power hitter. Brings up Ella Chansey. 0 for 2 so far today. And the Gamecocks, the last couple innings, it feels like the only time they've been able to do anything is with 2 outs. So you want to try and get something started a little earlier. Binford's going to call timeout.
Because then when you get something going with 2 outs and you get a little base running mistake like we've seen twice already, it just starts everything right back down, you know.
Sure does. The first pitch to Chansey. Binford's really finding it right now. That was a great curveball, and I think she's definitely gotten better as the game's gone on. Yeah,
there was also a quick pitch. She's not waiting on these Gamecock batters to be ready for her. She's ready, and she's throwing.
The 0-1 curveball down and outside. 1-1 is the count now. Again, 1 out. South Carolina trails it 1-0. We've only seen 2 runs in this series, 1 for each team. Fastball in at the knees on Chansey. She'll kind of hop back to avoid it. The 2-1 is good for a strike.
These Gamecock batters are letting a lot of stuff just go right past them, and like I've said, the Rebels are not doing that. They're at least fouling it off, taking a chop at it, but the Gamecocks are really being very particular here, and I don't think it's the time to be too particular.
As the 2-2's driven into left field, Jaden Pone is racing back, and Chansey has a 1-out single, and maybe you willed that into existence, but we'll take it.
I'm a little bit sorry, Ella Chansey, for saying that you were being too picky, because she picked out a great one right there and put it in a great spot in left field, and hopefully this will get something going for the Gamecocks. Runner on first. Again, they still need to be smart. They have 1 out. But, I mean, maybe this is where they can turn things around.
And we saw Ole Miss do it, kind of slap hit, play small ball, advance your runners. There's 1 out. The infield's not crashed in just yet. Knight thought about the bunt.
Yeah, you made a willed that one into existence as well. She gave no signs of getting that bunt. Usually you're all the way up in the front of the box. She's really trying to trick the defense here, and it seems like they're going to stay back.
Yeah, they kind of wait until the last minute. They take a couple steps in, but if Knight pulls this back, ball 2 there. She's got an easy opportunity to maybe just, slice one over the heads of the infield if they really crash down hard.
Yeah. Depending on how fast you can get that back a little bit and just swipe at it.
Yeah, but making Binford think about it has caused her to throw 2, make that 3 straight balls.
Yeah. That's another thing. I mean, just try anything else. Put your bat out there when she's about to pitch or when she is pitching it. Make her think about it more. Make her work around you instead of you working around her constantly.
That's right. The 3-0 now to Knight. Fastball low in the zone. 4 straight balls. And the Gamecocks have 2 aboard here in the 6th.
See, things have started happening now for the Gamecocks that they finally put something out there. They're trying something different at the plate with the bats, and still 1 out, but runner in scoring position, runner on first, and definitely can make something happen here.
And wisely, Jamie McKay goes out and talks to her pitcher. I think that's a great decision. Calm things down because the dugout is starting to get into it. The fans starting to get into it.
Yeah, and as soon as that momentum switches from Binford to the batters, things can start bleeding really quick. So that was a great job by their catcher, Jamie McKay, to go out there and calm her down, slow down the momentum a little bit, take the wind out of South Carolina's sails just a little bit.
2 runners on, 1 out for Lexi Winters. She's 1 for 2 with a single today. She squares around, pulls it back as a strike goes right down the heart of the plate. I think she wishes she didn't square around it, could just put a swing on that one.
Yeah. Worked for Abigail Knight, but didn't quite work for Winters here.
And again, it's going to be interesting to see how the Rebels play it. The 0-1 now to Winters. She drives this one into left field. Pone makes a diving catch. Chansey has to get back, and she's safe at second, but a great play from the Rebel left fielder keeps the Gamecocks scoreless.
That was just an amazing play by Pone, and if she would have let that one get past her, let that one get down, that could have even sent somebody home for the Gamecocks. So that was a great way to keep it from bleeding, and also almost saw another one of those base running mistakes right there with her getting so far off the base and Pone come in so much that the throw really wasn't a big throw from second, and she did make it back safe, but it was close. It was definitely close.
Yeah, and
Chansey made it back.
Yeah, good job for Chansey to get back, but what a play from Jaden Pone. Again, you're right. If she doesn't catch that one, I mean, I think Chansey probably definitely scores because Malvin in center wasn't behind her yet. And if Chansey scores, there's a chance Abigail Knight could have even came around. So a huge, huge play for the Rebels. But they're not out of it yet. Still 2 runners on, 2 outs as they're going to have a circle meeting here. And Brooke Blankenship is your batter. She's 0 for 2 tonight. She struck out her last time up and hit that hard liner back in the 2nd inning, back to Binford. That was just kind of unlucky as it was smoked, but needs some of that good contact to try and even up this game.
Yeah, if she can figure something out that's not, same thing, good contact out in the outfield, but not to one of the actual outfielders, that could really change things around, especially because the runners now, we have 2 outs, they're running on the crack of the bat. As soon as something is in the air or on the ground, they're going to be trying to get home.
They are. It's, again, going to be interesting to see how the defense aligns here because Blankenship, a little quicker than Winters, maybe could pull some of that small ball tactics out, or she might just be tasked with just getting up there and ripping. The first pitch she sees is a fastball high for ball 1.
Yeah, she's quite far back in the box, so I'm thinking she's just trying to rip something out somewhere and get around.
I think you're right. It's a 1-0 count. Runners on first and second, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. That fastball is good for a strike. It just finds that inside third. The Gamecocks trail 1-0. They've got 2 runners on to get back into this game. Binford comes home. Blankenship fouls it off down the first base line. I like that swing.
Yeah, it was a great swing, great contact again, just a little bit late. It seems like Binford is almost even more fired up by the challenge now from the Gamecocks, and she's putting some heat on the ball, and she's not losing her composure, and she's not going to give them anything easy for sure.
Yeah, she really put some pace behind that one. The 1-2 now to Blankenship. Fastball down and away. That's a good take there. Really tough to lay off a pitch like that. That's one she struck out on a few innings ago. Showing that discipline. 2-2 count, 2 outs and 2 runners on. The pitch to Blankenship. She chops it to the short. Starr fields it. Tries to step on second, but it's no good. Coming home is Ella Chansey. She beats the throw. The Gamecocks have tied it here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Just wow from Blankenship. That wasn't anything big. That was nothing like what we saw from her earlier. But they made something happen. They made the Rebels work, and it worked out for them. That's all they got to start doing is putting the bat on the ball and make the Rebels work for it. And it was a great try for the Rebels defense, but it just seemed like they were hesitant about each of those plays, and they couldn't do anything quite quick enough to beat the Gamecock runners out.
Starr fielded it at short, decided to run to second to try and tag the base. It was a great slide from Abigail Knight to beat it. Then the throw to first was way late to Blankenship, and that allowed Chansey to come all the way home. That's just a crazy play. It does go down as an RBI infield single for Brooke Blankenship, and again, you got to just make the defense work. It was a slow grounder, and that's what gets the Gamecocks all knotted up, as it's a pinch hitter, Maya Flint, who swings at the off speed.
It was a great job by Chansey being heads up on those bases. Great slide at second base. It was a great base running from the Gamecocks all around, which is good to see improvement from those first few innings.
Yeah, they've been good all year, so that's why the first innings were a little confusing as Binford calls time. Again, that gives us a second to talk about the pinch hitter. It's a freshman catcher, Maya Flint, coming into bat. She hit her first home run of her Gamecock career down in Baton Rouge, and there's a fan down here really pumping up this crowd. This is as lively as we have heard it all day as the Gamecocks finally show something on offense, and they have tied this up. And now, Dakota, we go from trailing, needing a run. Now you've got a chance to go out and take the lead.
And your winning run is on second base right now. And yes, you have 2 outs, but you can most certainly make something happen just like they did on that last play.
The 0-1, Flint swings at the off speed. Binford's got her 2 straight times with that kind of drop ball.
Flint is definitely really eager to make something happen here and hit, which is her job as a pinch hitter, but she also has to be smart.
That's true. She's dug herself a hole. The 0-2, off speed again. Just misses. A good disciplined take there from Maya Flint. Two runners on. The Gamecocks have tied us up here in the bottom of the 6th. And the 1-2 to Flint. Got her looking. That is just a great pitch from Binford to get out of it. But South Carolina finally strikes back, and we are all knotted up at 1 as we head to the top of the 7th inning. You don't want to miss it. Stick with us here on Student Gamecock Television. And we're back here in the top of the 7th inning. South Carolina just tied up the game in the bottom of the 6th. It's 1-1 here at Beckham Field. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by Dakota Morris, and we've all of a sudden have a really fun, tight game here in the last inning of regulation. Sam Gress still in the circle and leading it off for the Rebels. It's Mackenzie Pickens. The first pitch from Gress. Driven into center field. Leo's under it, and she snags it, a 1-pitch out for Sam Gress.
Yeah, and the great thing about these Rebel batters being so aggressive is that Sam Gress has to throw even less and less and less, and if they can get out of it pretty quickly and then get a run next inning, then maybe she can pitch tomorrow.
She maybe can. You know, she's still under 30 pitches today as the catcher, Jamie McKay, steps up to the plate. The righty-righty matchup. Chopped over to short. Blankenship ranges back. She fires to first. It's over the head of Rhoades, but McKay, I think, beat out the throw. Anyway, it's going to be an infield single for Jamie McKay.
Yeah, she made shortstop Brooke Blankenship go all the way back to the lip of the grass for that one, and it was a pretty good throw over, but just way over Rhoades' head. She couldn't quite get to it, and like I said, and like you said, I do think she beat out the play anyways.
Yeah, it was, again, one of those weird grounders where it's hit hard enough but not too hard to where Blankenship, you know, had to range back, and McKay had a lot of time to run. So an infield single, 1 runner on, 1 out. And that will bring up the third baseman, Angelina De Leon, for the Rebels. She swings at the first pitch. Fouls it straight back. Again, that's the 3rd time in a row that's happened.
They also brought in pitch hitter Taylor Strand for the Rebels, who's now on first base.
Yeah, they did that yesterday some. They like to get speed on the bases, and they're not afraid to be aggressive. They didn't test Winters too much yesterday. I'm interested to see if they do it here, top 7. The 0-1 pitch to De Leon. Off her elbow. Gress hits a batter, and now there's 2 runners on for the Rebels, and that's trouble.
That's not something we've seen a lot from Sam Gress this season, so makes you think maybe that longevity is wearing out a little bit. Maybe her arms get a little bit tired.
Yeah, just missed. You know, thankfully De Leon had an elbow guard. You
yeah.
could hear that one, you know, hit plastic, and a lot better than that one just hitting her regularly. But it's Taylor Malvin who singled her last time up. It's a slap hitter. The infield's in. The Rebels are ready to run, and the first pitch to her. Chopped to Chancey. She fields, fires to first for 1 out. That one just took a hop before it got to her. The runners advance, but there's 2 outs now.
Yeah, if she would have been like a step or 2 in, she could have caught that one in the air, had that easy out, and probably even got a runner on the base.
Yeah, very interesting to see how the Gamecocks are going to navigate this one. It's the leadoff hitter, Jaden Pone, 1 for 3 today. Up to bat, 2 outs. The first pitch to her, drop ball in the dirt for ball 1.
There are 2 outs, so there's still a lot of pressure on this Gamecock defense right now. 2 runners in scoring position. One of them's the winning run on third base. The other one is just going to make it harder for Carolina to come back. And, yeah, I'm not surprised to see Ashley Chastain-Woodard walking out to the
I love this
circle
move.
Right now.
Yeah, because Pone, again, 2 hits off of Gress yesterday. Had a single off her back in the 5th. So she's had 3 hits off of Sam Gress. Dakota, it might be, you know, a bit odd. Do you intentionally walk Jaden Pone? It's tough because, you know, then you load the bases, but then it's a force out anywhere. It's a question.
It's definitely a risk, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they end up doing that. Like you said, it's an out anywhere. Wherever the ball goes in the infield, it's going to be a pretty easy out. If she ends up getting something into the outfield that's not a high fly ball, that's an easy out, then you're probably going to see some trouble. But she, even if that happens, probably won't end up getting home anyways, so might as well just walk her.
Yeah, you know, it might be what I would do. Hey, there's a reason we're up here and not a head coach.
Yeah.
So we're going to trust Chastain-Woodard as we do. I mean, she's having an excellent year in her first year as head coach. And Gress is going to pitch to Pone, the 1-0. Off speed down and away. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if she kind of gives her 4 junk balls and just says, if you want to chase and put some bad swings together,
there, yeah.
that's fine.
Give her the chance to get herself out first,
Yeah.
but not give her the chance to do anything too big.
That's right. The 2-0. That one good for a strike there.
Yeah.
Gress says, hey, I hear you guys, shut up. You're absolutely wrong. Fastball down the middle. 2-1 is the count with 2 outs. Again, 2 runners in scoring position. So Ole Miss looks to take back the lead they got in the 4th. Gress comes home. Sliced over to Blankenship. She runs in. The throw to Rhoades. Safe at first is Pone. It's an infield RBI single on a weak grounder. And the Rebels take a 2-1 lead.
That was a better throw this time for Brooke Blankenship, but again, just these Rebel runners are fast. You know, it's hard to beat them out, especially when you're all the way back in the infield. And it looks like we might get another challenge out of that one.
We will certainly see. It looks like Pone was safe at first, but, you know, it's the 7th inning. If you've got a challenge. Okay, so this is, you know, of course, a big challenge. Okay, well, they just put it up, and she's definitely safe at first.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that one. I was about to break down the hypotheticals. There's no shot there. Should be a very quick call as the Rebels hold a 2-1 lead now in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, they're not even playing the full replay. They're just giving us one frame.
You can see the still. Yeah,
in the still, it's quite clear that she was actually safe. But again, Ashley Chastain Woodard trying to do something. Maybe even this breaks up the momentum for the batters on the Rebels. Help them out in a different way.
And the Rebels actually, of course, she was called safe there. They are going to bring in a pinch hitter. It's Addison Duke, the freshman from Yuma, Arizona. Only 9 at-bats on the season, but she's 4 for 9. Runners on the corners. The Gamecocks need just 1 out, but they will need at least a run in the bottom of the 7th to even this thing back up. The first pitch to Duke. Little low for ball 1. The 1-0 from Gress. Runner goes. Winters throws down to third, but now deja vu here. The Rebels have runners on second and third with 2 outs. That's how they plated one just a batter ago. And it's a 2-0 count now to Addison Duke. Excuse me, 1-1. The official corrects us there. The scoreboard was wrong. So 1-1 now to Duke. She's under 1. Racing in is Vincent out and left, but it does tail foul as her and Blankenship full on sprinting to that. But it's a 1-2 count now to the lefty Duke.
Definitely can see the urgency in the South Carolina defense now. They were really trucking it over, trying to get that one, even though it was way, way far over past the foul line. Excuse me. But they know what the situation is. They know how integral each of this next out will be.
100% the 1-2. Just missed outside there. Duke tried to slap hit that one, pulled back the bat. Really on the edge of the zone there, but no strike call. It's a 2-2 count now, 2 outs. Again, 2 runners on, and the Rebels lead it 2-1. Gamecocks looking to hold it there. Gress with the curveball, got her looking. Sam Gress does get out of the top of the 7th inning, and the Gamecocks need 1 run to send us to extras or 2 to send us home. We'll be back in the bottom of the 7th. Stick with us here on SGTV. do or die time for the Gamecocks. They trail 2-1 now in the bottom of the 7th inning. Your batters are going to be Emily Vinson leading it off, followed by Quincy Lelio and Carly Shelton. It's still Aaliyah Binford on the mound for the Rebels. Dakota, what does South Carolina need to do to tack on another run and keep this game alive?
They've got to take a page out of the Rebels' book, like I said earlier. They've got to get aggressive here. I mean, like you said, it's do or die time right now. It's not time to sit back and wait for your perfect pitch to come down the middle. It's time to put the ball somewhere and also make the Rebel defense work. Put it somewhere and put it somewhere hard. Make them make that hard play. Don't give them an easy out with a pop fly or even with just a dribbler in the infield. Make something happen here for your team.
That's right. I mean, the series victory, South Carolina, if they score 2 runs here, they can claim it just right now. And for the Rebels, if they win this, it'll push us to a rubber match tomorrow at 3. So this is a huge moment. The first pitch to Vinson. She pulls back the bunt and watches strike 1 go right by.
Yeah, and something that we've seen from Binford this whole game is she's pretty consistent with the first pitch strike. And I don't think this right now is the time to let that go by.
Couldn't agree more. The 0-1. Again, squares around a bunt, but the fastball this time way inside.
Yeah, she pulled around the bunt just quick enough. That one almost hit her bat. It was so inside for a foul ball there.
It looked also a little close to her, She did not get hit. It's the 1-1 now. Just a tad low, ball 2. Again, really close. Binford 3 straight fastballs to Vinson. And she's yet to sit back and try and ambush one. We'll see if she's committed to the bunt. The 2-1. Another ball, this time again low. 3-1 count, and again, it doesn't matter how, but a base runner with no outs would be massive.
Especially with Quincy Lelio on deck here.
3-1 is your count. Binford gets the sign, comes home to Vinson. Is called a strike there. Waited for the call, look, not sure exactly how that one would go, but the count is full. The infield backs up. Vinson chokes up, and the full count pitch. Grounded over to third, just foul. I like that swing, though, from Vinson.
Yeah, I like to see her being a little bit more aggressive. And in the full count, you're going to have to adjust to the pitch. If it's inside, you're going to have to get your hands inside of it. And if it's outside, you're going to have to get your bat over to it. Again, it's a tight strike zone, but it's not the time to sit back and wait on that walk. A walk would be great, but I'm not seeing that from Binford right now.
And the payoff. It's high. Vinson does take the walk. That was a dangerous take there.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to say, that you don't really sit back and take those, but it worked out for Emily Vincent there. Good thing for the Gamecocks, but that was definitely a very good eye by her.
Yeah, right. Living on the edge. I mean, that was very close, but it does bring up Quincy Lelio. Runner on first. She's 2 for 2 today. 2 singles and a walk. This is exactly where South Carolina wants to be in their lineup. Binford's first pitch to her. Inside, off the glove of McKay, and Vinson's at second. There's a runner in scoring position, and no outs for your Gamecocks. That's a bad time to just let one bounce off your glove.
Absolutely, and again, so quickly now the tides have turned for the Gamecocks. Lelio, again, is not a big hitter, but if she can put it somewhere in a gap, that'll at least move the runner to third, maybe even home, and then they're tied up, and if they can't get another, we'll have to go into extra innings, but they might even be able to get another with no outs right now.
That's right. Fastball down and away. Lelio squared around, so the corner infielders raced in. And again, you don't have to get an RBI now. I might be a little cautious base running. You just want to get that run home. No matter what, you've got 3 outs to try and do it. The 2-0 to Lelio. She squares again. That one's good for a strike. 2-1 now is your count. Again, the sun's back out in full. The Rebels up 2-1 in front of a packed Beckham Field. Binford comes home. Down low, she misses again. It's a 3-1 count to the lefty Lelio. That time she didn't square around, though. Back in the box and just looking to put a bat to it.
Yep, which now is the time if there's ever been one.
The 3-1. Lelio drives it into left center. Pone goes back, and she's under it for out number 1. That was a good swing, just couldn't place it.
Yeah, and that one came off the bat really hard, but then once it got into the outfield, it seemed to just float, and Pone was easily able to get right under it. It was still a great crack by Lilio, but maybe the wind was pushing back on it a little bit because it just seems to completely stop its momentum once it got out there.
We also had a weird angle where that ball was about at our height, and then it just kind of floated down. Brings up another lefty. It's Carly Shelton who watches a rise ball miss way upstairs. It's 1-0 count, 1 out, runner on second. Gamecocks again looking to at least tie it, but this is the part of the lineup where they'd look to take the lead. The 1-0 to Shelton, right down the heart of the plate for strike one. Ariana Rhoades on deck. Ella Chancey's in the hole. Again, a runner on second. The 1-1. Down and out for ball two.
If Carly Shelton's able to at least get on first base here and then bring up Ariana Rhoades and see if she can finally come alive this game, that would be really, really huge for the Gamecocks, and seems like a perfect little mix-up there.
The 2-1, Shelton's under it. It's popped up. Yamas is over there in foul territory. She makes the catch. Vincent thought about tagging. No can do, and that's 2 outs now after the pop out to first.
I think that was smart by Vincent to stay at second base.
Yeah.
You know, she wasn't very far off the foul line at first base there, and
you don't
again,
end the game with your best hitter coming up to the bat on a base running error. So.
Exactly. But best hitter historically for the Gamecocks, haven't really seen much from her today. It would be great if she
or
could
yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, if she needs to come alive against this Rebel defense.
Binford's going to call time here. Again, they've been very careful pitching around Rhoades. She does have a walk today. Outside of that, she's 0 for 2. Vincent's on second. There's 2 outs. The first pitch. Fastball away. Good take there.
Big step by Rhoades. Looks like she's really trying to do something here.
I mean, with one swing of the bat.
Walk it off.
Yeah, they walk it off. Very different fashions than yesterday on the walk-off walk, but gets you the same result.
Yeah. A walk-off is a walk-off.
That's right. The 1-0. Off speed down in the dirt.
Definitely looks like Binford's being a little bit more cautious right now, which, I mean, you can't blame her with South Carolina's best hitter up to bat. And if she were to put something over the fence, like you said, it would be over for them.
Yeah, and again, they've got first base to play with as well. So the 2-0. This curveball low again. It's a 3-0 count. It'll be very interesting to see if Rhoades has the green light. If there's a fastball down the middle, I'd be shocked to see Rhoades not try to put a charge into it. The 3-0. Down in the dirt, a 4-pitch walk. I think that's smart from Binford.
Yeah, especially now, you can play with all the bases to get your last out. So.
Absolutely. They're probably going to pinch run for Ariana Rhoades here, I imagine. But in the batter's box, it's Ella Chancey. She singled her last time up, so she's 1 for 3 on the night. And, again, a huge, huge opportunity. 2 runners on. Gamecocks trail it 2-1, and it's going to be Chloe Lackey, the pinch runner for Ariana Rhoades. That means if Chancey gets a hold of one, there's a chance that Lackey can score from first. But, again, you're much more worried about Vincent getting home from second.
Absolutely. Even if they have to go into extra innings here, they have to ensure that Vincent gets across the plate.
100%. The first pitch. Fastball right down the middle. So again, Binford's really tried to work quickly and get ahead in these counts, except to Ariana Rhoades, the batter before.
Yeah.
The 0-1 now to Chancey. That misses inside, and the count is all evened up. Again, the dugout, the fans, everybody getting into it here. Do or die for South Carolina. Binford comes set. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. The heater just blown right by her, and South Carolina is down to their last strike.
This could be it for the Gamecocks.
Could. It's a 1-2 count, 2 outs. Again, 2 runners on at first and second for Ella Chancey. Binford comes home. Fastball just inside there. A close miss from Aaliyah Binford.
I almost think Baptiste didn't want to do it to her.
It was
close.
Mighty close. But a good take, you know, if it works out. It works out. 2-2 is your count. Again, Chansey trying to stay alive. Another one misses by just the smallest of margins, and the count runs full.
Just about the same pitch right there.
Third base coach for South Carolina, it gave the little running signal, you know. No matter what,
we're going.
The runners are moving. It's a full count. 2 outs. The pitch to Chansey. Grounded softly to third. De Leon fields. She throws to first in time as Chansey is out. And Ole Miss will pick up the victory here at Beckham Field. 2-1. South Carolina had a chance to win it in the 7th. Just couldn't quite plate the runs again. Ole Miss wins your Saturday game 2-1, tying up the series at 1 apiece. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with a little post-game wrap-up in just a moment. And we're back here at Beckham Field. Gamecock softball just fell 2-1 as Ole Miss evens up the series at 1 apiece. That means we've got a rubber match tomorrow. I'll be on the call, so come hang out at 3 p.m. and also support Gamecock women's basketball at the same time. I'm sure you're going to pick us, of course. But again, Dakota, what does South Carolina need to do and go and take Game 3 of the series and get another SEC series win?
Well, what we've seen in both of these games so far is not a lot of hitting, not a lot of base running, a lot of walks. And today the Rebels came out and made that adjustment. They started to be started off a little bit slow at first, but once they realized they were just doing the same thing as yesterday, they got very aggressive at the plate. They weren't letting everything go past them, and even if they didn't get a hit, they were taking good chops at the ball. So the Gamecocks need to now make their adjustment, come out tomorrow, get the bats going as quickly as they can, and be aggressive. A lot of taken strikes here and a lot of closely taken balls as well. So they need to just be aggressive and not leave base runners on. Again, they had quite a few base runners on and it ended up leaving them out there. They need to make things happen quicker in the inning without 2 outs on the board already and just get aggressive. When that pitch comes down the middle, if it's the first pitch, who cares? Swing at it, get something out of it.
Might be the best pitch you see.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention the runner stranded. I mean, it's how many times, there were bases loaded multiple times yesterday in the first inning, and they didn't get anything, really from that. You've scored 2 runs the entire series. Both teams have, you know. So not a lot of offense, but that means when you get your runners on, you got to make it count, and you really have to, nip those base running errors in the bud, because that really could have been a start for something for South Carolina. They kind of shot themselves in the foot there. The pitching's been great, but I think they have everything. They can take Game 3 tomorrow. Again, I'll be on the call tomorrow at 3 p.m. with Xander Collins, so come hang out with us. That's going to do it for us here. Again, I've been Spencer Ball. She's been Dakota Morris. A big shout-out to our tech man, Mr. Micah Rhoades. Thank you all for hanging out. Go have a great day. Take it easy.